Do you have a young child between the ages of 10 and 14 that are gifted with supernatural abilities? Do they struggle to control exploding their friends and family when they get upset? Well, send them over to Professor Yesavier's Middle School for Gifted Youngsters. Our curriculum includes the U.S. core curriculum, augmented by a holistic program that teaches kids how to control their ungodly powers as they experience puberty. So please, for your own safety, contact Professor Y's Middle School for Gifted Youngsters today. Use code HMT to receive free legal counsel from our stable of lawyers.
Is this a metal thing? Yes. Taste.
David, what is this?
Pretty thick.
Great.
I have to kill a lot of people. Just tell me what you want me to fuck.
I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Oil me up, Daddy.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers big tits. Mistletoe alert. This is backcountry.
This guy was a real jerk.
How long can Hugo be pregnant? Chomp, 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 chomp.
Oh, I'm just such a dick, David.
Okay, everybody, put on your corpse handling gloves.
Ew.
Hoodie Picasso. Horror.
Hello, and welcome to Horror Movie Talk.
Hello!
Your panel of expert hosts each week are me. I'm Dr. Bryce Hanson. I hold a PhD in spookology, and across from me sits...
I'm David Doy. I'm the professor in scare stuff. We get spooky over here.
Oh,
we
boy.
have a real crazy time with horror movies and your friends and your mom and your dad. It's the best.
Mm-hmm.
We touch all of them.
New theatrical releases always get priority, but we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible.
It's true.
That's a pun.
Mm-hmm.
We got a great movie today that we're reviewing. Our great show.
Got a great show today.
Got a great show.
You chill out. Fucking calm down over there.
Coming down off of that coffee high from last week. It's
Oh,
like really
man.
crashing.
Yeah, Bryce went on to like go on a killing spree. He kept ramping up. He was aborting everyone.
You've been mentioning that throughout the week. I was like, man, you really were
Really
wired.
Really dialed up.
It's like, I don't know. It didn't seem that much different to me.
We need to get some meth in here.
Yeah, so we review new movies, especially new theatrical releases, of which one we're reviewing today is Firestarter.
I'm a Firestarter. The Prodigy is a Firestarter.
Yeah.
Well, he's dead now, I guess, isn't he?
Is he? Oh,
Yeah,
no.
so sad.
Did he start too many fires?
Mm.
He burned himself?
Yeah.
That's not funny.
No.
So if you're new to Horror Movie Talk, we got a website, horrormovietalk.com. It's spelled the way it sounds. You can go there, get all the links to the things. Oh shit. Today's the second Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We do a second Saturday watch party. We're going to do one tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But you've missed it if you're listening to this right now.
Shit.
Fuck. Okay. We post new episodes every Wednesday, so please give us a subscribe, and if you like us, give us a rating. We need to do a ratings campaign again.
Yeah.
We are once again asking you to rate Horror Movie Talk.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the deal. People have been the show's been getting bigger, and therefore a lot of people have been listening to a lot of our backlog, and the through line in all these new ratings we're getting is stop burping. And it's like, have you been listening for the last year? And the answer is no. They're like, we've been listening to all the episodes that you burp in, and fuck you for, can you delete those episodes off the internet? And we're like, no. And they're like, so, it's hurting. We're hurting.
It's great. It's like if you were to come in blind and just read our ratings, you would just think that the entire podcast is burping.
Yeah, because all the good ones are keep the burping up. And all the bad ones are stop the burping. And it's like, we haven't burped for a year.
Over a year, probably.
Yeah, probably more than that. So it's a crazy thing. So we need good reviews. And yeah, you can say whatever you want in them, but maybe just a good review would be nice.
If you want to call and leave us a voicemail, call 682-253-4468. We'll start out the episode today giving a brief review and our score for Firestarter. We score on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being miserable and 10 being good. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can hop out at that point. Later on, we'll be checking our voicemail. There's one in particular that I'm looking for.
Yeah. I love it when we get a new character, a new whack packer. You know, I've been missing. Robert
the Farter.
A lot.
He called last week.
I know he called last week, and it was great. We have some repeat callers, but some of them fall into the realm of characters.
Right.
And Robert has given himself a name, Robert the Farter, and therefore he's ipso facto a character.
Yeah.
And then there's more characters. A new character arrives.
So we'll get to that later. Let's talk about Firestarter. We went and saw Firestarter in the theaters. It's also on Peacock.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest,
such a good app.
It's the
Am I
dumbest
right?
name. Like, why didn't you just call it NBC?
Yeah. And it's a bit shitty app too. So there you go.
All right. Anyways, here's the trailer for Firestarter.
Daddy,
What's going on, sweetie?
something feels weird. Something's changing.
You remember the tools we taught you, right?
Pencil, desk, paper, shoes. You're weird.
Everything okay, Charlie?
It happened again.
What happened?
The bad thing.
If you ever start to lose control, what do?
It didn't work.
She's not a robot, Annie. She's a little girl. With little girl emotions, which are wildly unpredictable.
Charlie?
She just has to shove it down and keep it hidden.
Our responsibility is getting her ready.
Our responsibility is to protect her.
Charlie?
If they catch her, they're going to put her in a cage.
Charlie?
They're going to run tests on her for the rest of her life. We'll never see her again.
If who catches me?
Something's happened. I need it handled with discretion. And I need her back alive.
Holy shit. Do you know what it means to be on the run?
Bad men are after us. Really bad.
I hate living like this.
You're special, Charlie.
I'm not special. I'm a monster. Charlie!
I want to help her.
You want to use her. Charlie?
Don't be stupid.
Where's Mommy?
Do you feel that? Let her go or it's going to get a lot worse.
Where's Mommy? Tell me now.
She's the first of her kind. A real life superhero.
You need to understand how to use it. It can't be a reaction. It's got to be a decision. It's the only way that you can control it. She's becoming a young woman.
I'm not going to jail.
And someday soon, you're going to change the world. She may be capable of a nuclear explosion. Run, Charlie! On your knees! Simply with the force of her mind. The whole world going to hell. Promise me that you'll never use your gifts to hurt people.
I'll only hurt bad people, I promise.
Trust me, Charlie. You don't have to be afraid. Please, I can help you.
Liar, liar. Pants on fire. I don't want to hurt anyone. But it feels kind of good.
They took a lot of what she said out of context there. Like, they really took her words and just chopped them all up. She doesn't love hurting people. Mm-hmm. That's all for...
It was a hack job. That trailer is a hack job.
Yeah, it's a hack job.
Hatchet job.
For poor Charlie.
Firestarter is the second adaptation to Stephen King's 8th novel. It tells the story of young girl Charlie, played in this film by Ryan Kira Armstrong, trying to control her supernatural powers to set things on fire with her mind. After an accident in school, she finds herself on the run from the law and a mysterious government agency with her psychic father, played by Zac Efron. The government agency sends a telepathic Native American, or First Nations assassin,
That's going to be.
Named Rainbird. That's kind of...
I know. Is this really what we're doing?
To track down Charlie and return her for testing.
It seems really backwards for the Native American or the First Nations person to be working...
Indigenous.
To be working with the government here. You know? It's like...
Well, you know, it wouldn't be the first time that the government has exploited an indigenous person for their own purposes.
I suddenly see the through line here. Also, Red Foreman is in it from that 70s show.
Yeah. So...
And RoboCop.
I love how it's always like, we're going to test her. Like, what's there to test?
What do you mean, what's there to test?
She can put things on fire.
What do you... Are you fucking... Yeah, is that not test-worthy? Of all the things in the world, that's test-worthy. A person who can light things on fire with their brain, and you're like, what's the test? Fuck it.
All right. In the end, everyone gets more fire than they bargained for. This was an okay movie. I don't know if anyone was clamoring for a remake of the 1984 Drew Barrymore film, but here it is. It's very quickly paced, and it gets off to a quick start, but it suffers from a lack of character development early on. The supernatural elements are handled very matter-of-factly and almost seems too common in the world for it to be surprising to anyone. Like, there's an entire family and this guy chasing them, and it feels like, should anyone be surprised that people have the ability to control your mind in Stephen King's world?
I see what you mean. The way this movie kind of offers you the fact of people being able to do weird shit with their mind,
right,
is like, oh yeah, duh, this is the world,
right?
Like, this is Stephen King's world,
and they're pretty blatant about it. Shouldn't really be a secret in the world.
It does in this. Well, this movie is pretty true to the original, if I recall.
The novel or the film? The
film. This is an adaptation of an adaptation. And it feels like it took a lot of cues from the first movie, which was what, in 83?
84.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't long after this that tiny little Drew Barrymore started doing drugs, which was so crazy. Everybody was like, wow, she's like 10.
Yeah,
she's doing like hard drugs.
I rewatched Drew Barrymore's interview with Norm on on his Netflix show.
Oh yeah, I kind of vaguely remember
that was one of my favorite episodes of that show, just because
she's so confused.
Drew Barrymore's kind of like, what I take away from it is like, she's not super bright.
She's
like,
really honest. Hey, there's other ways to say that.
A lot of stuff just flies straight over her head.
The recording, like right before you looked back at the recording, it had stopped completely. The little number down at the bottom had stopped, and the whole, just like that. That's, ooh, show me where it spits.
This is weird. Let's check that real quick. Okay.
Yeah, let's...
Technical difficulties. We had to restart my computer. So cut out there for a second, but we were talking about Drew Barrymore. And I just rewatched her appearance on the Norm show.
Yeah.
And she's adorable. She's a bright, like, loving presence, but she didn't understand a lot of the jokes, which was...
Well, I mean, that's, yeah, and a lot of that is kind of by design, you know, I mean, a lot of people don't get Norm's jokes.
Right.
And that's kind of what makes them great.
Uh-huh.
So.
Anyways, where's my clipboard? See, I leave for 1 second. I go haul the... Okay. Where were we? In the end, everyone gets more fire than a berry. So... Okay, that's right. So where the film really shines, no pun intended, is when things get set on fire by Charlie. Like, it's unavoidable that you're going to have a good time watching her on a rampage at the end of the film. It's good times. And I haven't seen the 1984, but I can't imagine that the special effects can, like, hold a candle, no pun intended, to this one.
It's been a while. Obviously, this one's going to have better special effects.
Yeah. I wasn't blown away by it, but it does seem like an unnecessary remake / adaptation, but Blumhouse, shut up.
You shut up.
Blumhouse has found a market for remakes that no one's asking for, and it's going to serve it, goddammit. Remember Fantasy Island?
Oh, yay, David.
Of course I
Yay.
do. Yeah, there's definitely a lane where, but this is a much higher quality remake than
sure,
Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
That was just so dumb.
I was actually pretty bored for the first 2 acts. Like, the problem is it presents the problem and immediately starts with the action in the beginning, and it's basically the same thing for 2 acts. Like, there's very little variation.
It's on the run.
Yeah, it's on the run.
Yeah.
They just keep hitting the same note of, like, can't tell, we gotta be on the run because we can't let them get you.
Chili's,
they're bad.
Baby back ribs. We gotta go. Yeah, it's definitely a one-trick pony, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it's inexcusable. I think, and also, like, to me, a lot of that felt really upsetting. You know, like I was the whole time kind of cringing for this little girl. And I was just like, oh, this poor thing. It's just all like, it had me. The stakes were appropriate to me.
I guess the other thing is that what kind of doesn't make it super compelling for me is that they show her super powerful early on. She explodes a bathroom, and it's like, well, how could she actually be in danger at all? She could just shoot a dynamite explosion at someone.
Big bad men with other powers are coming to grab her.
I guess. I don't know. It just, the first 2 acts aren't super compelling to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's yeah, I think some character development around Charlie, her father, and Rainbird, and even the government agency would have made it a little more engaging and established better stakes. So, I mean, even just giving a little more background, like, it rushes through it pretty quickly because the opening credits are basically the setup of the parents, and that's it. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, they were experimented upon. That's all we get. And it would have been nice to really show a little more how the government agency is sinister, like, to make it seem like a little more.
See, that's work that just doesn't need to be done to me. I'm like, oh, it's a government agency. Fuck them. They're sinister. They're terrible. Spooky. I don't like it. You know, that's work that needs no establishment to David Day. So
I just associate government agencies with boring. It's like, oh no, they're gonna make us fill out bubble sheets.
Well, that too. I mean, that's the low key part of the sinister.
Yeah, but like the actual danger and harm to the person, like, it's not super established. It's like they just want to do tests.
Yeah, but what that means is, like, taking your life away from you.
Sure.
Like taking all of your freedoms away.
It establishes that, but I mean, I would just like to see a little more, like some more flashbacks.
Freedom isn't free. It's a hefty fucking fee.
Okay. But it has some fun moments that are worth a watch with friends. I wouldn't rush to see it in the theaters. If you got Peacock, go watch it on that. This is definitely one of those films that's not sacred to talk during. Like you could have a lot of fun with friends, and I was kind of editing myself in the theater because there were some other people in there. But
yeah, unfortunate that.
But yeah, there's just a lot of moments.
There was a great part, too, like where she was like, liar, liar, pants on fire. And I was like, whoop, 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 whoop. I was very excited about that. Yeah, so what do you give this?
I give it straight down the middle, a 5 out of 10.
Wow, scornful.
I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's not a good movie. It's perfectly average.
Average means bad. Don't you know?
Average.
You centrist shill.
It's not David.
I disagree with a lot of stuff that you said. I think it's gonna, if it, like, it sounds like it's such a fucking, oh my god, I never shut up about the childhood trauma bullshit. But I honestly, like, if the childhood trauma angle works for you, this movie's gonna work for you. Like, you're gonna be like, oh, damn, this poor little girl, and it really worked on me, and quite frankly, I about halfway through, I was like, oh. I feel great about. I like this movie because it's like a what do you call it? You know, those superhero starter pack movies. What do you call them?
An origin story.
Yeah, this is a superhero origin story like Brightburn, but that I care about. Like, I didn't give a shit about that kid in Brightburn. I did not care, and there was so much hype around that. Oh, this is the evil Superman origin story. It's Bizarro. He's gonna come in to get it. And then it just ended up being so stupid. I hated Brightburn. But this was a version of Brightburn that I was like, this is fucking cool. And I wish I mean, I guess it's open for, they could still come and do like Firestarter 2. But I wish they'd have gone.
Fire started. Start harder.
Creosote. Yeah, so they could kerosene. They could come in and like I would have liked her power explained a little bit more. You know, there's like, which I think actually this is a good discussion for spoilers, which is like, what would your superpower, if you had to choose, like, what would it be? Because her power isn't exactly fire starting. It's kind of pyrokinesis, right? Which is kind of like the ability to excite atoms in some way, right? To excite or retard the movement of atoms, to get them to explode in fire.
To excite or neurodiverge.
Right.
Atoms.
No, I don't think it works that way.
No.
I think you finally found the use case.
I'm trying to not be offensive here,
where
David.
it doesn't work.
Like, yeah.
I would have liked more of that, but I mean, hey, we're still waiting for kerosene, so maybe they'll come through with Firestarter 2, the gasoline pack, and we'll get to see it. But I really liked it. I'd say this is a strong, solid 8. I had a good time.
Wow.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Wow. I'm surprised it would get over a 7 would be generous to me.
Neurologically, we're diverging quite a bit right now.
Like, wow, 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed Zac Efron. I'm not going to lie.
Well, yeah, that's just because you want to fuck him.
Well, I mean, that aside, I'm always impressed by Zac Efron because you look at him and you go, this fucking guy. And then he turns out to be such a good actor that you're like, well, damn. Like,
which is kind of weird. It's like, oh, I can't believe the guy that's acted since he was like 13 is good at acting.
Fucking really, really good. Like he's...
It's like, yeah, Yeah, if you've done something for like 20 years, like you're pretty good at it.
Yeah, that is true. I don't like what he's done to his face. It's a crime. He was fine, Zac Efron. You got to be like 10 years younger than me.
See, you said that, but the picture that people reference is super fucked up.
You think I'm talking about the picture that people are referencing? I'm not. I'm talking about his face now. It looks inferior to his face before. It's like a big chunky meathead compared to like svelte.
This seems like a whole thing for you.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is. I don't like what he's done to his fucking big fat fucking head.
He's just got older.
No! He had shit done to his thing, his face. I'm going to look it up.
He had some filler put in and it faded off just like filler does.
No, that is not the case. He's got a big chunky meathead compared to I really don't see how you can like deny it, because he's truly changed the structure of his face. Like he got some sort of implant on the side of his on the back of his jaw that's much wider. And before he just had a very, pay no attention to this. I acknowledge that this after picture is goofy. This before picture is what I'm comparing everything to. And he had this slim jawline, and now he has bulked it out. The jawline's all fucking weird, and it doesn't make sense for his beautiful face.
Yeah. You just want that streamlined jaw for when he's sucking your cock.
Wow. Okay, this is your wife's here, I assume.
Thank you, Aaron. Oh no!
No.
For David.
we got coffee delivered. This is the coffee that turns Bryce into.
Well, I think she got that for you.
A raving lunatic.
Did you already have like 3 cups of coffee?
Thank you, Aaron. No, I didn't.
Okay, you can.
Thank you so much. Oh, we got delivery. It's DiGiorno. Look, what is this thing? What is this thing?
It's a straw.
Yeah, but this thing.
It's a metal straw with a silicone tip.
And you're sitting here telling me about sucking dick.
You're complaining about Zac Efron's jaw.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I am. Yeah.
All right.
I think it's a crime what he's done to his beautiful face.
I think he's just got older.
Yeah. That should stop too. I don't agree with that either.
I don't like it.
I don't like it one bit.
I don't like that at all.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Firestarter.
I want you to hold this up against all the other films you've given an 8 out of 10 and say, it's as good as those ones.
Here's the thing, stupid. The horrible part about this is having to rate movies that you just enjoy. Like having to, I just fucking had a great time watching this. And I think as far as remakes go, bingo. Like, great. They did a great job. I had a real fun time. And I was reminded of that horrible, shitty movie Brightburn that everybody was like, oh, Brightburn. And I was like, this is stupid. Nothing happens. It's not compelling. I don't care about the super bizarro Superman guy. I don't care about him. I cared about this little girl. I had a good time. The bad guy was bad. There was Red Foreman. What else could you want? RoboCop. Okay? It pulled all my nipples in regard to nostalgia. It was like, nostalgia. And I was like, oh, my nipple.
All right, we're going to pause for a word from our sponsor. If you just heard commercials right then, you don't have to. You didn't have to. If you go to our Patreon and sign up for a certain tier, you get early access to episodes right after we edit them and without ads.
That's right.
So if you haven't done that, too bad. You're going to hear our ads, like our shop on horrormovietalk.com/shop. You can find our shirts, our stickers, and that's it. Also, we want to give a plug to our resident artist, Dustin Goebel. He always gives us awesome artwork to share with each of our posts. You can find him on Instagram at dgoebel00. That's at DGOEBEL00. reach out to him and ask nicely, and he'll do a commission for you. If you want to leave us a voicemail, call us at 682-253-4468. Thanks again for listening. Let's get into spoilers.
Okay, Bryce.
I just mainlined 2 sausage McMuffins.
I saw that. It was very
impressive.
You're like a big dirty raccoon, David.
It was very impressive. Okay. You know how there's just some people on the planet that are just like undeniable? Zac Efron is one of those people, you know?
Undeniable in what way?
Well, you just, you know, you look at Giselle Bundchen or something like that, and it's like every guy is kind
of... Are you saying you want to fuck him? Undeniably fuckable? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
You just want Zac Efron's manly man meat?
I feel like you're putting a lot of words
in
other
your mouth
things.
and ass.
I feel like you're putting a lot of words and other things in my mouth.
I mean, that's what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm asking you a pretty specific question, and you're just ignoring it to insert words and penises into my mouth. You know how
it doesn't take me to put penises in your mouth. That's all up to you, David.
Well, it seems like you're doing it right now, so maybe back off. Maybe, respect my space. You know how there's just, there's Brad Pitt. It's like, well, everybody, pretty universally,
sure,
you're just not going to, he may not be your specific cup of tea, but you're still going to be like, well, fuck. Goddamn. It's just impressive no matter how you cut it. Somehow. You're like, shit. I feel like Zac Efron is one of those people, and I feel like it would be hard pressed to find a woman who's like, get him out of here. Ew. It's just, you're just not going to do it. You're not going to find that person who's be like, can we not with this? Okay, I get it. She's still going to be like, yeah, he's pretty cute. He's pretty cute.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't see it.
You straight up are saying that Zac Efron is like, who's that? Who's that goofy kid, the bad guy kid on Breaking Bad? Kind of blonde and...
Shit, what's his name? Mm-hmm. Wow, drew Aaron Paul?
Yeah. No, not Aaron Paul. No, that's Jesse. No, I'm saying the bad guy kid, Pink.
Plemons?
Jesse Plemons. Yeah, are you saying are you saying
I see no difference.
Okay, now you're just trying to be.
I don't know, I'm not into men, David, so.
Okay. All right. Well, this is a good way to just retard the conversation.
No, I mean if Zac Efron came up to me and hit on me in a bar, I'd be like, oh, okay.
All right, we'll go to your place.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, if he asked nicely, I would suck his dick, okay?
Okay. As long as we are in agreement.
Yeah, I mean, we learned from, what's his name? I can't remember the sex psychologist guy. He's played by Liam Neeson in that movie.
Ed Asner?
Oh, fuck. Kinsey. We learned from Alfred Kinsey that everyone's a little gay.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's got a little... It's a spectrum,
I mean, to be honest, the more you're able to admit it, probably the less gay you are.
Right.
I
mean, the straightest guys act the most
Think about
homosexual.
Every pastor who's like, the gays are going to hell. And then as it turns out, they'll literally get done giving that speech and they go into the back and they just take it in the ass. Literally.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm here just, straight as an arrow.
Right.
Because I acknowledge my gayness.
That should be the spectrum on the test of, Like, it shouldn't be like how attracted you are to men. It should just give you a list of celebrities. Say, who would you let fuck you? It's like, goes from like, you know, like Paul Giamatti to Zac Efron. And that it's like, oh yeah, you fall straight on the Adrian Brody point in the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a equivalent for women, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we won't go there though. That's dangerous territory. We're just the most qualified people to tell you.
You know what's kind of weird about women though? Like
no. Oh, Bryce, no.
You know about women?
Come back, Bryce. He's had some coffee.
Oh no. So here, do you find, tell me if this is true in your experience. Do you find that some women inexplicably find the most gorgeous women, like, and they just like, yeah, I don't see it. I don't understand why men are attracted to them.
No, everybody I hang out with, like, there's this baseline for people that I just hang around that they have to be good people, which means being honest and like not trying to fuck with your head constantly. I feel like that's a fuck with your head move, where they're just like,
sure. I mean, maybe
Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's like, oh yeah, okay. You mean the person who's made millions and millions of dollars literally off of her looks and nothing else? Yeah, okay.
Hey, she's talented. She's a talented actress.
Yeah. No, I love her work with Goop.
Okay, well, I guess that I'm in the. I feel like I've seen like this phenomena where,
yeah, it's called trifling bitches. Is the phenomena you're describing?
Where you find these like, it's like Taylor Swift or something. They're like, I don't understand why people are attracted to Taylor Swift.
What's that about?
It's like, what? I mean, that she's like corresponds with every conventionally attractive like idea we have.
Yeah, I just don't see
in
it.
Culture. Like, I don't know. Or like when you ask them like, who are the women that you're attracted to? And they're like, oh man, like I don't know. And they pick someone that's like
Oprah Winfrey. Rosie O'Donnell all the way.
Someone that's attractive but not like top of the list. I'm trying to think of who a good example would be.
Dangerous territory.
Anyways,
yeah, don't go there. J-Lo.
Yeah, that's the one. Anyways, all right, moving on.
Firestarter.
Wow,
your notes are sparse and hilarious. Your notes start mommy milkers. That's your first note.
Speaking of women,
baby's head on fire.
Yeah, my points to talk about get sparser and sparser every time.
Jesus.
So yeah, it starts out with Charlie as a baby, and she's like, "Mama,
goo goo gaga,"
and
she's like, "Oh shit, the milk in my tits is boiling."
And then the baby's head catches on fire, which is a great image. And then they wake up, and it was all just a dream.
It was Zac Efron's beautiful head dreaming about about these mommy milkers and his baby's head catching on fire.
Yeah, and I'm not sure whether it's implied that actually happened or it was just a dream, or I think you're supposed to know that that's real. But he wakes up and everyone's up and it's early morning and Zac Efron offers to make pancakes, which is, David's fantasy.
Oh. Wow. Like, look out, Carrie.
Okay, here's the question. If Zac Efron wanted to fuck you.
Yes. Wait, what?
Would you be willing to leave Carrie and your family?
No.
For Zac Efron?
No, I'm a straight man.
Would you be willing to have an ethically non-monogamous relationship with Zac Efron?
No.
No?
No, it doesn't do anything for me.
You just want to fuck him in a dirty bathroom?
No, I just acknowledge that he's a beautiful person. I'm not actually attracted to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bryce, do you have feelings for Zac Efron?
Oh, okay. So you're saying I only hang around honest people. Well, I'll tell you what, David, I don't. I got one in this room that's not being honest.
I feel like you're projecting. I feel like
Hey, I'm not the one that talked at length about Zac Efron's gorgeous jawline.
Look, you asked.
It seems like you put a lot of thought into this.
It just seems like you're unable to take any of my jokes.
Oh, it was a joke.
No, they were all jokes. Because gay equals funny. Hello, have you been on Earth for like a while?
It's no laughing matter. So
sexuality in general is pretty funny. I think.
Yeah. If you take a step back, sex is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it's great.
It's just like
it's all those noises. Yeah, you're slipping. Your game's way off. Okay. This is the
hilarious.
Show. This is the show you're listening to.
This is the show now.
David, this is so awkward.
So, anyway, then it goes to the credits, and the credits is like younger Zac Efron and the younger mother, like doing interviews, The Office style, about their abilities.
Yeah,
and scientists are taking notes and stuff like telekinesis and telepathy.
Tilapia.
That's my favorite hot sauce.
Speaking of which, how do you like that hot sauce I gave you for your birthday? Hoff's.
I gotta say, it's pretty fucking good.
Isn't it fucking great?
It's really good.
What's it called? It's Hoff's Wake Up Call.
Yeah,
it's great. Spicy, but not so crazy spicy that you can't just slather everything in it.
Yeah, I mean, for me and you, it's the perfect level,
right?
To where it's like, yeah, you're gonna
get a little heat.
You're gonna be like for like a minute or two, but it's not gonna be like, I can't take another bite of this because I'm scared.
I feel like I've just destroyed my mouth because it doesn't even get there for me.
This is like an interesting lane of machismo that I ascribe to, which is like, yeah, I can eat hot things.
And I stopped being proud of it long ago.
It's a weird self-punishing, but also like, yeah, you do build up an acclimation to the point where it's like,
I need a Firestarter in my mouth.
Yeah, why are you doing this? Because you're just setting yourself up to be dissatisfied most of the time.
It feels like chasing a high, kind of like it's like to me. I stopped being proud of it and started just like earnestly looking for good tasting hot sauce long ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not seeking after like the insanity sauce or whatever, but like when you're eating stuff that's supposed to be spicy.
Yeah. And you're like, I can do this. This isn't that spicy.
And anything that's less than like hot.
Yeah.
Is like, what am I wasting my time on?
We went to a Mexican restaurant the other day that I really like because when I ask for hot sauce, they got like house-made hot sauce. But you got to always, anytime you're at a Mexican restaurant, if you ask for hot sauce, you got to be like, I want hot, like not this white people hot that you do. I know what you think of me. That's fine. But give me the good stuff. And man, it's when it just lights you up and you're like, whoo, that's what I like. Where it's just like, this is too much. We're borderline. We're in dangerous territory. You're going to taste this on the way out.
Yeah, you know? That's the best. Like, you got to be in the danger zone.
Yeah,
but you can't go crossover because you can. I have been on the other side of that.
I've been on the other side, and it's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
But if you can just dance on that line,
there's a point at which it's like, why am I even putting this in my mouth?
Yeah, and you just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And you're like, ugh, this is gonna get a lot worse before it gets better. Yeah. Anyway,
anyways, we're reviewing a movie called Firestarter. So the credits kind of set up the parents' abilities, and it shows Zac Efron being a hypnotist and like showing him like help someone quit smoking.
His power is called pushing.
Yeah, which is established in other Stephen King novels. I don't know whether this is the first one where he uses the word push, but I know in Dr. Sleep that's a big element. The push, and I think it's all around the kind of concept of The Shining.
Taking a dump.
Got
a messy push.
I think he's established kind of a world around this and like rules around the psychic and telepathic abilities and stuff. But I thought for a minute, like, I did the math pretty quick because the lady sits down. She's like, it's like $100 per session. I'm not sure I can really do this. And he's like, listen, give me just this one. And if you're not feeling great, like, I'll give you your money back. I guarantee it. Mm-hmm. And then he, infiltrates her mind and makes her think good thoughts and say that she doesn't want to smoke anymore. And that's it. And she like doesn't have all the money. But doing the quick math, how could this guy not be like a millionaire? Because he's charging $100 per session. And from what I can gather, this session lasted about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
$100 per 5 minutes. That's a lot per hour.
Well, I mean, they kind of, this is touched on a little bit, which is they have to keep a low profile. And so that's all very intentional, right? So if he just like mopped up and became well known as this person who just worked miracles, like literally just worked miracles, then his cover would kind of be blown. So I appreciate that they went to some effort to just be like, look, the dude could just walk up to a millionaire and be like, give me all your money. And the millionaire would do it.
Hey,
but
that's a really good point.
You got to keep a low profile.
That's a really good point. Why doesn't he do that?
This is my favorite part about superhero movies, this theory crafting around the powers where you just go, what's the best thing to have?
Okay, so so are we limiting ourselves to Stephen King superpowers?
No. I mean, I wouldn't like to. I'd just like to know what have you given this much thought? Is this
I usually do it in like the this versus that element. So like my favorite one is, I think the best one in my opinion is, would you rather have the power of invisibility or the power of flight?
Wow. I mean, the perv inside you says invisibility every time, right?
Everyone goes to the perv. And yes, I would go into women's locker room, but there's so many more
you fucking
abilities
perv. Abilities in that. Now you're just struggling to find.
Oh no, I remember now. My favorite one was that I could add into there would be the power to rewind time, like 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Like you would maintain all your knowledge from it, but you could rewind time and relive the last 5 minutes. And so it's like a running thing to where you can't go further than 5 minutes, but there's always like the last 5 minutes you can redo.
So that every time Zac Efron's pumping one out into your mouth, you can just rewind that and just experience that infinitely. And then, yeah.
Is this the gayest episode we've ever done?
No, there's definitely gayer.
Yeah, so that one was one of my favorites in a hypothetical, which is like, yeah, would you rather have the ability to be invisible or rewind time 5 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know. That's I don't know. With that,
I'm so enamored with the idea of rewinding 5 minutes. It's like that seems like so powerful to me.
Seems so boring. It does seem very powerful, but I just think about my life. You know, it's powerful because of the person that you would end up being, right? Because you go, there's limitless possibilities and my actions don't matter at all.
Right.
So suddenly there's no consequences for the way that you are. You can just keep Groundhog Daying the whole thing.
The last 5 minutes.
The last 5 minutes.
How satisfying it would be to just be able to slap someone as hard as you can. And
that would be great. I think there's a real danger with the rewinding 5 minutes thing, because have you ever played a Choose Your Own Adventure book? And you know that fucking cycle you get stuck in, where you're just dog-earing every page, and you're just like, I gotta go back. I fucked it up. I didn't get to the right thing. You're just gonna do that with your whole life. You're never gonna be able to fucking fall asleep. It's gonna be like a drug that that you can't put down, and is just available to you, just right there all the time. I think that's bad for your mind, being able to do that. I think invisibility wins.
Wouldn't that also be bad for your mind, though? Just... yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but in a way that is not that doesn't break the time-space continuum kind of thing, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what could you do with invisibility that you couldn't do with rewinding for 5 minutes, though?
You couldn't rewind time. You'd be invisible and not be able to manipulate time and space. I think that a buddy of mine many years ago made a very strong argument that pyrokinesis is maybe the strongest power of them all by a wide margin, because essentially what you have to do is break the power down. And so what is pyrokinesis? It's the ability to excite or retard the movement of atoms. And so with that, what can you do? You can fly. You could make all of the air molecules beneath your feet become completely solid by shifting how they move, and then push yourself through the air. You can obviously light things on fire. You can also slow things down to a point where time basically stops. And it's like, you're talking about like Jean Grey volumes of power.
Wait, how could you slow time down?
Because everything, relativity, right? So things are only going as fast through time as they are going. So if everything gets slowed down, then time speeds up, right? Around them.
I guess how much,
right?
Is
how
it
much
pyrokinesis around the entire existence?
Yeah, it depends on how much power you got, right? But it's a cool thought experiment, because if you can just, let's say all that you can manipulate is what's in a 50-foot radius around you. Well, you can bend time in a 50-foot radius around you.
I still don't follow how you could do that.
Okay, so moving at the speed of light means that everything else. So if you're moving at the speed of light, everything else around you is moving much faster than somebody who's not. Right? So if you are able to slow down or speed up everything around you, like all the atoms around you, then I don't know how to explain this in a way that's, as stupid as you. So I'm just trying. I don't understand. I don't understand how to get down on your level. You look so confused. This is so obvious to me.
Yeah, basically you'd rather be the Human Torch than any other superhero.
Well, not specifically the Human Torch. As someone with pyrokinetic abilities.
Isn't that what the Human Torch is?
His have some weird, limits and rules where he has to be on fire. I can't recall his specific array, but yeah. This little girl, though, has pyrokinesis or something like that, because in this movie, in Firestarter, she does things that are not specifically starting fires. They're moving shit. Like, she moves a little...
Well, I think the thing is, like, her mom has telekinetic powers and her dad has psychic powers, and so I think she inherited both of those in addition to being able to set stuff on fire.
Yeah, and the kind of the setup for this is... Mom and Dad were test subjects. They were experimented upon with this serum, and then they escaped their test subject status. They were chosen, by the way, because they had innate abilities anyway.
See, it didn't seem very clear to me because it didn't seem like they had to escape. It seemed like they were on the run from the law because Zac Efron forced two police officers to kill each other.
I will admit, I thought it was because they had a baby together and that was not okay with the government. And so the government responded by trying to steal the baby, and that's when Zac Efron was like, I'm going to make these police officers kill each other because I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
Right. I mean, they were going to take the baby because...
Chili's!
Fire baby. But yeah, he forces the cop to shoot his partner and then forget how to breathe and walks away with the baby. And that's when they're on the run.
That's such a fucking cool thought. It's like, you're going to shoot your counterpart and then you're just going to forget how to fucking breathe, brother.
It goes to Charlie in school, and there's the world's most over-the-top ginger bully. This kid with red hair, and he's like, she's a weird girl. The weird girl killed our Fran.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, weird girl?
Let me emphasize, you're super weird. You know, there's this... What do you got to be a bully in a movie? You either got to be fat or redheaded, it seems like. Or, like, blonde. Like, weirdly blonde. Like, too blonde. You know, a little bit Aryan.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you got Draco Malfoy.
Uh-huh.
You know, you got
you got Johnny from Karate Kid.
Johnny from Karate Kid. You got, who are those Billy Madison brothers?
O'Doyle rules.
O'Doyle's, right? They're fat and redheaded, you know? And so you kind of got this lane of like...
Yeah, the Irish are real bullies.
Real fucking bullies. Yeah, America still doesn't like the Irish. Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
So anyways, this over-the-top bully, and then it just forces Charlie to... She tries to control it, and she goes into the bathroom and explodes the bathroom.
It's awesome.
Which I'm prone to do sometimes. I don't even have supernatural powers.
Well, you know, somebody's like, light a match, and it's like...
And so they're found out because explosion, and then they're immediately on the run. And it shows, like... This is one of those concepts in movies that I'm not real sure if there's a correlation to real life of, like, if your kid had supernatural powers, like, would it ever be the right idea to be like, shove it down?
Yeah, I know.
Suppress.
Yeah,
this is the right choice.
It is a comical concept.
Right.
For sure, that is executed in this, which is like this really ham-handed dialogue where the mom's like, you got to teach her how to use her powers, or else she's never going to be able to control it. Whereas beautiful, slick-dicked Zac Efron,
hot ass
with his rock hard abs and his arms that you could
you just lick ice cream off of those abs.
Yeah, and you can just fall asleep in his arms while he cuddles you.
Mm-hmm.
Says, you gotta shove it down. And then I'm just like, I push my boner down.
Yes, Daddy.
Yeah, and so
I'll shove it down.
It's a silly concept because it's like, no, she just has to shove it down. I have to say the most generic thing about little kids coming of age. She just got to deny herself, and everything could be fine. Where it's like, no, obviously you got to teach her how to use her power.
Yeah, yeah, especially pretty hypocritical since he's built a career off of using his powers to his. I guess the thing that sets it off is that he hurts himself when he uses his powers.
Right,
he's bleeding from his eyes.
He
and
understands the trade-off, which is there is a real trade-off every time you use your power. But it's kind of this interesting insinuation because he didn't have these incredible powers until this serum was injected into him. And now every time he uses them, a little piece of him gets taken away. Whereas his girl was born of two people who were like essentially genetically modified.
She was born that way.
And it works a little differently for her. Like she's like, every time I use it, it's like scratching an itch that I couldn't reach. And there's like this, it doesn't take a piece of her away. It kind of gets her going. Like she's okay with it and it feels right.
Is the shove it down an analogy for being gay in a conservative family?
It could be anything you want it to be, Bryce.
Like
anything.
Could be like the father is secretly gay, which I mean you'd be really into, and he's trying to shove it down.
He's kidding.
It's like turn it off.
It's weird that it's weird that we're talking about this movie Firestarter because it's getting really hot in here.
Trying to get Charlie to, turn it off. Like, don't do it. Deny yourself your evil urges. And she's flaming.
Yeah, and then she's in that school bathroom and it's just like, boom! It just pops off.
Right. But yeah, it doesn't seem like the best idea.
No.
To shove it down. And then immediately, what was the thing that set her off to burn her mom's arms? Like she has a bad reaction and gets angry and shoots out a big fireball and ends up burning her mom's arms.
Yeah, I mean, basically her mom was like, sweetie, we just gotta do this thing. Things aren't going to be normal for us because we're not normal. And she's like, I hate big circumstances. And, then she hurts her mom. And then, and then the government activates the
indigenous hitman.
And he's kind of, I'm still questionable about what his powers are, but
I think he had, telepathy. Like he was able to push. I don't
think he was able to. I think his power was being semi-immune to the guiles of all these other powered people. Because
I thought he controlled Zac Efron for a second. Am I not remembering that right?
I think Zac Efron was just trying so hard to fuck with this guy, and he was so stoically unmoved that was why Zac Efron was so heavily fucked with, because every time Zac Efron uses power, it takes a chunk out of his soul.
Yeah. His superpower was tracking. Which is from movies what I understand a lot of
little racist
First Nations people. Just really good trackers.
Yeah, it's a little racist, isn't it? Problematic.
Yeah.
Damn, Blumhouse.
And then they run.
Well,
they find an old man.
Yeah, but her mom dies in the attack in the indigenous people attack. Yeah. Well, she kills her mom, kind of. Really, she lights the house on fire, and she was dead before that because the
Rainbird choked her out. She was dead. She fell dead out of the closet.
Okay.
And yeah, so they're on the run away from Rainbird. Her mother's dead. It's just her and her dad, and they get picked up by an old man. And this is just filler. There's not really a great reason for Irv.
I don't know. I like the element of Irv. Irv is this old man who he just basically lies. You know, he just these white lies that have to do with his past, but also like, yeah, it's like he tells lies about who he is because he can't face who he really is. He can't. He doesn't like who he has become, so he tells you the story that he wishes were true about himself, which is kind of this regretful character that shows you what happens if you do suppress that person. I liked Irv, and that's kind of what I got out of Irv. Yeah. Is like, he's the example. He's the old man who lived a life of fucking up and regret.
Yeah.
And so don't be like Irv necessarily.
So he calls the cops, and they come. Zac Efron is captured by Rainbird, and Charlie makes it away. And there's a pretty cool scene where Zac Efron like manipulates Rainbird's mind to make her disappear, so he can't track her.
Creates a whole optical illusion around which way she's running,
and then it really speeds up. So I wish they spent less time with Irv and more with Charlie in the forest, because it kind of skips forward. Like, it seems like
a little bit of a montage,
like weeks.
Yeah,
because she goes into the forest, and the next time we see her, like, she's completely dirtied.
Yeah,
like she's like soiled. Like, it looks like she's been in there for like a week.
Her in the forest was a motherfucking montage of her teaching herself how to kind of use her powers.
Yeah. And it was great because there's a moment where she starts a fire, like a campfire. I'm like, that's where they got the title for the movie.
They did it. They said it. They said Firestarter.
And then she tracks down her father. I mean, this happens really quickly. And this is where all the fun stuff happens. Yeah. Oh, no. I skipped forward. I'm sorry. Before they go to the old man, one of the best scenes is they're at like a gas station or something, and Charlie was like, "Here, pussy, pussy, pussy." And like this little cat comes up and is like, looks like it's gonna rub on her, and then goes "Meow," and swats at her and scratches her, and Charlie immediately like burns it to a crisp. It's like,
yeah, it was great,
and just the sound of the cat. Meow. There's nothing. It's never not funny to hear a cat scream out in agony. Well, and I love cats.
To be specific here, though, like, the audience should know what it's like to go and see a movie in theaters with Bryce Hanson. It is a very unique experience, and I'm not making this up. And it shocked me when we first started going to movies together. And it's weird that it's taken me this long, like 5 or 6 years, to like actually talk about it. But Bryce is,
I think you've brought this up before,
a booming laugh. He's just like, ha 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 ha, wee, and the whole theater's like dead silent, and he's like, ha 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 ha. So anytime something like, so this cat burning up is a cat burning up, like it's being tortured, and like there's a couple other people in the theater with us. They're not making a sound, presumably because they kind of care about cats, or you know, or maybe they're just stifling their laughter. Mm-hmm. None of that with Bryce. He's just like, ah! The cat fucking dead. And so, and which I have grown to love, because it's what everybody's thinking. It's just they can't let it out. But Bryce can't even control it. It's his superpower. He's just like blows the doors off with raucous laughter. And I'm not exaggerating either. It's impressive.
Yeah, I have a pretty booming laugh.
It is a big booming happy laugh of like, ha ha ha, cat's dead.
I love the feeling of feeling something.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's very clear.
I feel nothing for most of my life, and there's something that makes me laugh. It's like I'm taking advantage.
Yeah,
of
something about that cat being lit on fire and dying a horrible death.
There's something about imagining. I don't know what it is.
Finally,
like,
feelings.
I just imagine the filmmakers like what kind of. I imagine the fun that the director and like the special effects people or the sound design people have doing that scene, because they played it like over and over for like dozens of times to get the exact right timing and sound.
Yeah.
And that they were delighted by it.
Yeah.
They're like, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know.
No, you don't need to justify it. I think anybody who sees this movie will also have and that's what I like about it, is it's the most earnest reaction.
And then Charlie's dad is like, you got to put it out of its misery, which, I don't know. If it were me, I would just like stomp it on its head or something.
Oh, yeah,
like,
sure.
Put it out of its misery quickly, But she decides to, just roast it some more. I don't know. In the trailer, it shows her exploding a bird. I wish there were more of those.
Yeah, bird explosions.
Anyway, she makes it. So, I mean, that's like kind of our taste of what's to come.
Yeah. And then Red Foreman kind of explain. He's like the creator of this batch 6 or whatever the fuck this drug was that they injected Mom and Pop with, and he kind of explains the whole potential of Charlie, which is this bitch could literally bring about the end of the world via like her powers. Like she could, like, this is the discussion that superhero comic books and movies really never really have, because it's all kind of a foregone conclusion, but it's at the core of the whole thing, which is like, this shit is so fucking dangerous. How can we entrust this kind of power to a kid?
Right.
And how can we let this kid just run amok through here? Like,
yeah, I mean,
we do need to control this.
Yeah, in comics, like, they use that argument when it's convenient. So, like, X-Men, there's a lot of this.
It's all of it. This is X-Men.
And then
a lot of this. Like,
the more recent, meta
Civil War
comic book stuff is, Civil War or, The Boys.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff. Or what was that cartoon?
Yeah, that cartoon. On Amazon.
Am I getting tired of comic book movies?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
I've been tired of them for like 4 or 5 years now.
They just keep pumping them out. I gotta say, I watched Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And the Multiverse of Madness. And it was entertaining. That's the thing that sucks, is like, they're always entertaining. They're always fun. But,
could you give me
there's nothing else.
New? Yeah.
There's nothing else in the theaters. And so that's part of like why I appreciate this film, even though I think it's kind of mediocre and it's not. I think we need more mediocre films or lower budget films in the theater to kind of even it out between the movies that cost $300 million to create and anything else. Like, it's hard to find the anything else now in theaters. Like, there's a lot of stuff on Netflix and streaming platforms, and I don't know. Horror is the one genre where you still get it. Like,
I don't know. Actually, right now is specifically the time this is the time that proves the exception that proves the rule, because there's Everything Everywhere All at Once. There's The Northman. There's the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And then, they did give Sam Raimi
I think that's more of like the effect of having everything on hold for 3 years. And maybe. Now they're finally being able to release them in theaters. Like, I think
people have been saying what you just got done saying for a year, which I guess is about the amount of time that you'd need to get out a year's worth of movies. But
yeah, I mean, like, there's at least 2 years of stuff that's been held off from theatrically releasing. So, if you think of like indie art house films, like how many there would be in 2 years, like, they're all coming out now.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she finally catches up to her father because they've got a connection. Got a mind meld connection. And then her father kind of inexplicably just tells her, burn them all.
Yeah. He's like, no, you really, like, if you want to survive, this whole place has to go.
Which is kind of weird. Like, couldn't she just rescue him? Seems like that's an option.
Well, he told her. Like, look, I mean, there's an element of, like...
Well, and not only did he tell her, he makes her. Like, he pushes into her mind and...
Yeah, it's not, maybe not the right answer, but it's an answer that an 8-year-old and Zac Efron can come up with, you know?
Well, it's great, the shift between shove it down, keep it safe, like, control everything, to I'm going to force you
to kill me
with your mind to kill your own father and everyone in this building.
Yeah.
And seems like a shift.
Well, it's a shift of a desperate man, right?
Or he could just say, save me, and she would burn through the
I'm so
glass.
Eager for this moment. You always have like this, like, you know, in the total moment, I'd be the voice of reason. I come up with I'm so desperate to see this Bryce under pressure situation, because you paint this version of, like, it could be, dude, in the moment, shit's hard. It's really scary and upsetting.
I'm talking about storytelling. If you're the person writing it, or...
Oh, I see.
Like, there's a lot of choices you could do, ways you could take this, and...
That's true. That's true.
Even if you want, like, chaos and, like, just a horrible sequence of killings, there's different ways you could go about it other than...
I like this.
Forcing your main character to commit atrocities.
It's so tragic.
Forcing it.
Yeah, no, this is like the ultimate tragedy. Like, this is what's so great about it.
And that's why, like, I guess that's the flexibility of not doing character development, because you don't really give a fuck about what this father actually thinks or what his concerns are, or what,
well,
like, what Charlie does or thinks. So it's like, it's just a device to make someone burn, make lots of people burn in interesting ways.
No, I think this is the ultimate tragedy, right? Where you got this guy, he is so messed up in the head by, you know, first of all, just being exhausted, having to use his power so much, and it takes a piece of him every time, and then being caught, and then knowing that he's been used as a lure to get his little girl into this very, very bad place for her, and then, like, being desperate and going, the only answer here is I have to make my daughter kill me and everyone else here, with the exception of Rainbird. And that's what happens. And that's super tragic, because that little girl had to kill her dad. She was forced to kill her dad by her dad.
Yeah, but it's never explained enough why that's the only option. Why is that the only option?
I just got done explaining it. He's all used up. He's given a bunch of his self to, like, trying to help this girl escape. He's exhausted. He's tired. He's in this he's not in a good space.
All right. Anyways, the ending is pretty great. Lots of people on fire, and then of course the line that's David's favorite: "Liar, liar, pants on fire."
Was that not your favorite line?
It's so dumb.
That's so great.
It's so dumb.
Liar, liar. And then
I see London. I see France.
Yeah, the Captain Hollister, the bad guy lady, is like, "Oh, sweetie, we're just trying to help." And the little girl Charlie goes, "Liar, liar, pants on fire." And I was like, "Oh no, my pants! They're on fire! No, my pants!" Yeah, it's a great last line. Oh my god, gives me chills just thinking about it.
And then she burns the whole place down. And in the end, she's sitting on the coast, and Rainbird comes up to her and offers his hand.
Yeah. To be taken to his tribe.
You're like, okay, this is better. This is better that she's being raised by a psychopathic hitman now, I guess. This is okay.
No, it's just what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Firestarter. Who do you recommend?
This is a great popcorn movie.
Yeah.
You're going to have a good time.
This is a good date movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It reminded me a little bit of Blue Ruin. It was kind of sad and kind of morose and it didn't, there wasn't a lot of, it wasn't a lot of exposition. It was just kind of a lot of mood and then action and then go.
All right. Let's move on to horror movie whores.
Do you have it? I have it. Here we go. I have it pulled up. If you want, I can play these.
I got it.
Oh, okay. This is a little bit where you guys call into us at 682-253-4468. And, we play your messages on the show. So thanks for calling.
This one is from Glittercore. She's talking about, she said the last episode, so it wasn't the sadness. What was before?
The wailing? Maybe?
The wailing? Okay.
Or maybe not. I can't recall.
I can't remember either.
Well, she'll say.
Oh my God. This last podcast, you guys fucking really hit a lot of deep issues.
Hatching.
My God, this is Glittercore.
Oh, that's right. The hatching.
By the way, this is one of the best episodes ever. You guys were like, so many dicks. I have a bachelor in dick psychology. Oh wait, I minored in dick psychology. I mean, hilarious. The toxic masculinity.
Buckle up for this episode.
Totally agree. It's bullshit. Just be a good person. I agree. Both of you said that. It's true. Who cares what fucking penis or gender or cis or whatever the opposite of cis is? I don't even know because I had to look up cis the other day because I didn't even really know what it fucking meant. Just be a good fucking person, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, quote that hit me really hard was that David had said, you had the perfect thing and you fucked it up by thinking it was imperfect. I think a lot of people struggle with trying to be perfect, and I know me personally, I've been working in therapy with my therapist about the word perfect and trying to substitute it with something different and more appropriate because perfect does not exist. So if anybody has any recommendations on a different verbiage for the word perfect, since the word perfect doesn't exist, I would be very open to recommendations. Anyway, I love you fuckers, and thank you for everything you do, and I upped my patronage, whatever the fuck you call it, because I love you so much, and you're worth it. Because you're fucking sluts, and you deserve the money. So, anyway, keep up the good work. Bye.
That was so nice. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Glittercore. Glittercore, you'll notice from the intro music now, is featured as, I've got big tits and a tiny vagina.
Right.
So that's something about her.
So that's something about her. She's great, and she was talking about our hatching episode where we talked about narcissistic parents and yeah, I did say some stuff in that I'm pretty proud of. To be honest with you, like I do feel good about some of the revelations I had during that movie. That was a pretty great movie. If you guys haven't seen it. She says she's been working with the word perfect with her therapist and trying to replace it. I have a suggestion. Instead of using the word perfect, how about use the word human? Because that's all you can do. That's all you are. And that's all you can be. So I don't know. That might work. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up Mormon, and this is a whole thing. Like, the search for perfection, and like it's almost theology or doctrine that like, yeah, that's what you should try to be. You just be perfect, because the scripture that's cited is be therefore perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect.
Well, it is important to have something to shoot for.
It's basically saying not just is it like a goal to shoot for, it's a commandment to be as perfect as God, which is pretty harmful, to say like, it's...
Well, there's a lot nested in that though, right? Because Jesus was a person, and he was not totally perfect. But
see, that's the thing. It's like he was perfect though.
No, he wasn't.
Well, in Mormon doctrine, he was perfect. So anything.
So all the fuck ups that he made.
What were the fuck ups?
The 20 years of shit we don't get to hear about Jesus because he was going through hard shit. Coming to terms with being the Lord.
I don't know. That's all apocryphal.
I don't know what apocryphal means.
That's stuff that's not in the Bible. So how can you comment on it?
Well, because it's an intentional exception. It's like, where's the 20 years?
Okay, well, sure, David. In the David canon, Jesus was a fuck up for 20 years. I mean, like, that's the... Anyways, in Mormon doctrine, it would be like, no, he was perfect and he did only what his father would do.
But what would be the point of making...
Even the things that, like, you could point to as like... Hey, that might be a point of weakness, which is like, I don't know, we're getting into.
He was made into. He was made into. What would be the point of sending your son to be a person, if not to show that I am you, I am like you, and you are not perfect, right? It's an attempt. It's all a journey, right? I feel like this is an assumption that everybody just like sidesteps, which is, oh, Jesus was perfect. But, well, then what was the point of sending him at all?
Okay, well...
To be a person. Why would he be a person instead of being God on earth? Like, why a person? Why born in a goopy mess,
Well, I don't want to turn this into church, but I mean, all I can speak to is Mormon doctrine would say it this way, and I don't think it's necessarily unique, which is it was God come to earth to experience life, in the chaos that is, mortality, or to experience mortality, but he's still God, and to be God, you have to be perfect. Like, you can't accept that there's part of it is you can't accept him being God if God is fallible. So anything that Jesus did was the right thing. So even if you look at the parts where some people point to as like, oh, that's weakness, him expressing weakness. It's like, no, that's God. That's what God would do in that circumstance. So stuff like him asking, for the cup to be taken away, him like turning over the tables in the temple. It's like, those are all justifiable actions of God.
I feel like this is all another one of those things where it's people limiting, putting like bumpers up for God. Like, oh, God can't be imperfect because then he wouldn't be God. And it's like, if God wants to be imperfect, he damn well can. He's God. Like, and why would you limit him in such a way? Like, this is part of the thing that makes him amazing is like, I don't know, all this.
Okay. I mean, this is all to say, the whole point I'm trying to make is that, yeah, it's harmful to have that conception of saying like, no, you can be perfect, so you should be. Like, and you should feel bad when you're not.
So we agree that it's dumb.
No, I agree that it's dumb because it's not. We're not God.
Yeah,
and we don't have a perfect knowledge or.
But we
abilities.
Are. He's in us.
Like, you have to accept humanity on humanity's terms, not only with yourself but with other people.
Maybe that's exactly what we're both saying. Like, that was the whole point.
I'm trying to make my point through the way of Mormon doctrine.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap up this theology debate right here, right now. Jesus is the bread. Okay, next call. Jesus. Thank you for your call, Glittercore. Oh, this might be her again. No, it's not.
Hi, this is the girl from Colorado that I cussed Bryce out last time. I just listened to the stagnating while I was driving, and holy shit, I fucking loved it. I think I'm as fucked up as Bryce is, so thank you for that. So it doesn't make me feel as shitty about myself. that movie was fucking insane. Like, I'm so excited to watch it just based on your guys' review. And then it got me thinking into, like, a deep, dark hole of myself where I'm like, why am I enjoying everything Bryce is talking about and shit? And I'm like, dude, that is so fucked up. But those are the kind of things that, like, no one talks about. So I don't understand why David was, you know, no offense, being a little bitch.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, dude, like, the things that you were talking about with, like, abortion and Hitler and all that other shit, I'm like, those are cool fucking conversations, you know? And then I started thinking more about it, and I'm like, dude, am I really that fucked up that I enjoy these kinds of things? So, like, for example, you know when you're, like, watching porn and, like, nothing's getting you off?
Yeah.
And then you, like, start going into a darker hole and watching more fucked up shit, and you're like, nope, it's not doing it for me. And then next thing you know, it's, like, 3 a.m, and you're watching a girl eat cereal out of another girl's asshole, true story. And that finally gets you off. Like, don't you guys feel like just so dirty and shitty after watching something like that? Like, do you guys feel ashamed of yourself?
No.
No, that was a really cool fucking movie, and I want to know what other kind of fucked up shit do you guys like to watch, or I'm totally down to have a conversation with Bryce about all the things that make David uncomfortable. Love you guys. Bye.
See, Bryce loves this because it's literally just her shitting on me. So Bryce is
No,
like, oh yeah.
No, that's not the only reason why I love it.
The question of, don't you feel terrible after getting off over watching some girl eat cereal out of another girl's asshole? I'm like, that's just Monday, bitch. Like, what are you talking about? How could you feel bad about the thing that gets you off?
Yeah, don't kink shame me. No, like, I think both of us listen to this because I was kind of paranoid because David, again, was being a little bitch about the last episode. And I was like, I don't know about this last episode. We went too far in some places, especially Bryce. And I was getting paranoid about it. And I re-listened to it. I'm like, no, it was fine.
No, I think my issue is that I don't want to have a show where we talk about politics ever.
I didn't talk about politics.
I mean, sure you did.
I was talking about a thought experiment.
Right. Yeah, sure. Call it that. I just don't want, I don't want a show about horror movie. Cause here's what I hate. I hate when the podcast that I'm listening to, like, about a certain topic gets so off topic that it starts like liking the smell of its own farts, especially in the political realm.
So, like the 30 minutes we talked about Zac Efron and how much we want to fuck him.
Yeah, but that's so like easy. Like everybody can agree with that. You know, there's not a person alive who's not gonna be like, yeah, I didn't want to fuck Zac Efron. But when it gets into the abortion debate, then I'm like, well, there's gonna be a lot of people who get really
see. Here's
Look,
the
you're
thing.
taking this as an attack. I'm just telling you why I didn't like it.
I know. You're saying you're putting words in my mouth that you're saying we were talking about the abortion debate.
Put a lot more about that than that on your mouth.
I mentioned the word abortion and like the frame of the discussion, but I didn't have a debate about abortion. I was talking about how if you're vegan and you believe meat is murder, but you also believe that, you know, life doesn't start until birth, then it's not murder to eat pig fetuses.
Well,
that's
we can all agree on that.
I know. That's all. That was the only. That's not a political statement. That's just fact.
Right.
So no, I think we both were a little paranoid about that episode. And she mentioned that she left us a voicemail, and so we both listened to it independently.
Yeah.
And I called you and asked you if you did, and you're like, "Yeah, I don't really appreciate being framed as I was a little bitch."
Well,
and I
No, it wasn't that. I don't appreciate the idea that you're more fucked up than me. Like, that's where I took offense.
That too. Yeah.
I specifically, I'm like, no, I am definitely. I have a way more fucked up sense of humor. I feel like, just based on the like where I go every night, just watching television programs with my wife. It's dark as sin. It's terrifying. Like you would like there would. It's the darkest places you can go.
If it's on TV, it's probably not going to be that dark.
Oh no, that's the fun part, is making it horrendously, like cavernously terrifying.
Okay, yeah.
Bringing it to the darkest places imaginable.
Yeah, you watching. Well, I think one of the examples you're probably thinking of is watching The Ultimatum, the Netflix show.
Oh,
that's stuff like that. Where
that's
it's like
super fucking light. I'm talking about taking wholesome shit and turning it into like the most depraved stuff that you can imagine. As like, this is our fun thought experiment that we do every night.
Right.
Is like making things the darkest, most disgusting thing you can imagine. And that, so I like, and I like the depths of the depravity that I'm capable of, I feel like is much darker. But yeah, although I don't know, I feel like you and I could get to some pretty dark places as well if we did that.
Well, it's strange because like you've said,
I just pride myself on that. Well, and she attacked me.
Well, you came up with an idea for a new bit and like you kind of put it on me to say like, you should probably head this because you're going to find more fucked up stuff than I will. Like, am I remembering that wrong? Because
well, a big part of that was, I know, like, I had the idea in my head about the bit to begin with, so I knew how I wanted the reaction to be. It's very hard to make Bryce react a certain way, whereas I feel like I knew where
you wanted to.
I birthed the bit in my head,
okay.
and so I go, well, there's no way I can like transpose actions onto Bryce. I can't make him act the way I want to. So, yeah. There was an element of control on that one.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I really like this caller.
But yeah, I love the fact that it's like the phone call is framed as, I can't believe that I'm as fucked up as Bryce.
Yeah, that offends me. That specifically offends me.
What I've learned is that you should just never attribute any kind of label or characteristic to David because he's going to fight back against it and take offense.
I hate you.
Yeah. Even saying that, I can tell there's a twinkle in his eye. Like, you can't.
Yeah, I'm a little angry about it. I'm very angry about it, actually. I'll burn this place to the fucking ground.
Burn the building down. Okay, next.
Hi, it's me again. So I think I'm also numb like Bryce. Like, to be honest with you guys, the Serbian film was not as it's sad, but it wasn't disturbing. I'm like, this shit's probably happened in real life to a couple people, but I don't know. I think I'm desensitized too. So Bryce, shoot me some more fucked up movies. Recommend them this way so that I can feel something again in my sad, lonely life. All right, thanks, bye.
That is what's fucked up about a Serbian film, is that this happens for sure.
Yeah.
Like, this has happened a lot. Like, that's what's scary and sad about it. Like, but yeah, no,
I don't really seek out like the super. I haven't seen a Serbian film. I haven't seen Martyrs. Like all these ones that come up as like this will fuck you up.
I'll tell you this: the sadness. I almost said the saddening like her. The sadness did not affect me the way I was worried it might. I was like, oh, this is kind of, oh, wow, that's messed up, but it didn't, I wasn't.
Right. I mean, it's like, there's a point at which it goes so beyond where you're like, you can just compartmentalize it as like, this is a movie.
Right.
Like, it ruins the suspension of disbelief to where it's like, yeah, that's special effects, that's makeup. Her eye isn't really gone. It's a prosthetic over her eye to make it look like it's gone.
And this is why I wanted to do that. Well, I thought about doing that horror movie iceberg bit in the last one, because there are movies that move into like real territory on that, like Black Metal Veins, which is like, it's a documentary about like heroin users that's real heroin users doing real fucked up shit, and one of them dies on camera, and there's some question about whether or not that's real, and like that kind of shit.
Yeah, and if you want to go find some true darkness that's not like fake movie darkness, go to Soft White Underbelly on YouTube.
Oh,
you'll discover some like Just
I found
casual, matter of fact, like human misery.
Yeah.
That can't be compared to.
And by the way, I found that for Bryce. Bryce didn't find that until you. I found it and gave it to Bryce. So I'm so fucked up, right? Me.
Can I just ask callers not to comment on David's proclivities or personalities?
Don't you put that on them.
I've got to. It's not fair. It's not fair to David.
No. Next call.
Here we go.
I love that girl.
Oh, morning, fellas. It's Luke from Hampshire, Old Hampshire, England. Just a quick one, as I don't know how much it's going to cost me. Team Spear all the way. Fuck you, David, and fuck Fart Simpson. Love you guys. Bye.
Fuck Fart Simpson.
Hey, whoa.
We love Fart, but yes, the Spear is the right
This is
choice.
exactly how Team Spear would be, which is like approaches. Claims Spear is best, says nothing further, does not elaborate further. Like, it's like, yeah, okay, but why?
Well, I mean, he comes from jolly old England, which has a rich history of
losing to Americans.
Of warfare.
And losing to American. Having us pull their bacon out of the fucking fire. Yeah, I know, I got you, North Hampshire. Fuck me. Fuck you, buddy. Well, I'll bring a bat right over to North Hampshire. Sorry, I love you. Hope it cost.
Hello, fellas. Me again. Hampshire-based Luke. Feel like I need to.
Luke.
That didn't cost me very much money, so that's why I divulge a bit more into my whole spear thing.
Oh.
I mean, there's a reason spears have been the most commonly used weapon in all human conflicts. If you use a sturdy enough piece of wood, you can snap it in half, and then you've got a short stabber and even a bat. You can't reach. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then you have a superior weapon.
Fart rather was going on about having the katana. Yeah. Strap a sturdy piece of wood to it. Got a spear, a naginata, or whatever it's called. Sorry. Oh, God, my dog just jumped on my... Anyway, so before I explain that, spears is best. And, yeah, have fun, guys. Bye.
Yes, thank you, Luke. You've made all the salient points. Answering David's...
I love
criticism of your last phone call. But
okay.
also, if you have a samurai sword, you strap that onto a spear, and all of a sudden you have a superior weapon.
I'm so interested to know how many spears Team Spear has among all of them. Among all of them. Not one motherfucking spear among all of you spear-claiming bitches.
Yeah, you got a knife and a dowel, and you have a spear.
But you don't have that, Bryce.
Yeah, you do. I have a knife and a dowel.
Okay, so and
what's dowel in that room right there?
Okay, yeah, go get a dowel and go ahead and fucking duct tape a knife to it. Oh, wow, what a great weapon, Bryce.
No, or don't even have to do that. You just sharpen it with the knife.
But you don't even have it. I have a bat right now. If we were to pop off right now, I got a bat in my fucking truck, bruh. You're gonna be sitting in here carving your spear while I'm caving your head in. There's all the argument you need. Mm-hmm. Team Bat wins because Team Bat exists. Team Spear is a thought experiment. Most used weapon in history.
No, that's a fact. That's not a thought experiment.
And where have all the spears gone? Where you got to pop on down to the spear store, buy yourself a spear?
Well,
no, you're going to craft one out of some theoretical thing in your house.
Okay, David, if you're in a melee battle, what are you going to use?
A bat.
In warfare, what are you going to use in a melee battle?
Okay, so we have to be transported into a mythical realm that doesn't exist?
No, they use it today. They would use it today. What would it be?
I'm saying
it's called
right now
bayonet, which is basically a gun spear.
What are you talking about? No one has bayonets on guns anymore.
Yes, they do.
No, they do not.
Yes, they. Okay, David.
You got a lot of bayonets around here too. You're like bringing up all these things that aren't used.
No, if you have a rifle in the military, they still have bayonets.
They have fucking grenade launchers underneath them. I'm just saying, man, I have a bat. You don't have a spear. If this thing pops off today, I got a bat. You don't have a spear.
Yeah, I do. I can sharpen a piece of wood.
Right. You can sit down and waste a bunch of time and maybe get eaten.
A bunch of time.
Prove me wrong. Make a video. I have yet to see. I've got a bat. I have no evidence that anybody has a spear. And there's no spear store, whereas bats are prolific. And they're easy to use, and they don't get stuck in things. Like, it's Team Bat. It makes sense. They
don't get stuck in things because you don't survive long enough to swing it twice.
They don't even, at least they exist.
Okay. Here's Mike from California.
Hey, it's Mike from California, a.k.a. the Belle of the Ball, from your last episode, The Sadness, as well as I Fuck Saw. Keep up the good work. Stay being afraid of the air. Bryce, I hope you didn't inject that poison in your body. Again, more porno or horror movie and more you, David, Schitt's Creek references. Keep it up.
Ew, no, David.
Yeah, he was...
Man, Mike,
on the last episode criticizing us for being afraid of the air.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm not very afraid of the air. You're more afraid than I am. Mike from California is the new Whack Pack. I feel like I like Mike from California because he's here to say the things that no one else is going to say.
Yeah. I thought you didn't want to be political, David.
He's the belle of the ball. He proclaimed himself the belle of the ball, which makes you the belle of the ball. That's exactly belle of the ball action.
That is actually what happened in Southern, balls. Is just whoever comes in says, I am the belle of the ball.
Shit. That person did it before me.
And the other women are like, fuck, why didn't I think of that?
Damn it. I told myself the last ball, I'm going to proclaim it, and I forgot. It's really on me.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Here is our last caller.
Hey, fellas. CJ from Massachusetts. Hey, so I was just thinking, if you want to get more people talking about HMT, I think you should start having more political debates on the show. Any publicity is good publicity, right?
No.
All right. Take care, guys.
CJ's been calling every episode. I got to say thank you to CJ. You're a good caller.
All right. So here are my opinions on the Jewish people.
Oh, dear God.
The Jewish race.
Uh-huh.
No, I don't. No, we don't want to get in. Again, it wasn't a political conversation. It was philosophical.
Here comes Bryce reframing history the way he does. Oh, spears. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows it's bats that are the most prolific weapon used in history.
Yeah, to the people that lost.
No, to the people that kick ass and take names. Badass.
Like
people.
who? What civilization used primarily bats and established the
entire
worldwide
Scottish people
emperor
led by Mel Gibson?
Those were swords.
They were big old bats. I know.
Yeah, the Scottish didn't win that fight, David. I'm not sure if you watched the same movie as me.
Were you inspired or not?
If you want to be drawn and quartered,
George
use a bat.
Washington crossing the Delaware with the motherfucking bat, bro. Crossing the Delaware. Well, all of World War II was fought with bat launchers. These artillery cannons that were just designed to launch bats into the faces of their enemies. Your fucking spears are nowhere in
all
history.
These bullets are just shooting out of these little tiny bats.
Bats are transcendent. I'm feeling loopy.
Any success fought by the spear is just because it's a very long bat.
Right. Yeah,
Ouch, David. Ouch, David.
It's okay. I'll stop hitting you with a bat now.
Ouch, David.
All right. That is our episode. I think we meandered long enough.
Holy moly, man.
Thank you for listening. Join us every second Saturday for our second Saturday watch party that we're definitely going to have tonight. Please, again, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever you can. I think you can do it on Spotify now as well as
other places.
Podchaser. Share the show with a friend if you know someone that likes horror movies. And if you want to leave a voicemail like you listen to those other beautiful people, Call 682-253-4468. And Zac Efron, if you're listening, David just really, really wants to fuck your mouth.
I got something over here that you got to take care of.
Oh, that was.
Oh yeah,
that
it was my
it?
wiener. Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna play something. You were fiddling
no,
with
it was
your
my
computer.
wiener. I need him to take care of it.
Okay, you could grab onto those augmented jaws and just shove them right in your crotch.
Well, he's got to touch my bat. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Touch my bat through the fence. See y'all later. Bye. Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk.
An opinionated and accidentally funny horror movie review show. Go.
I just took a stroll through the scraggly woods. He had no face! Horror!
Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it.
New theatrical releases always get priority.
But we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible.
Wow, that didn't sound good.